Hello, my name is Zachary DeVos from UA 101 class, and in this video I'll be exploring how the issue of isolation can be understood and addressed through four key principles from David Hollander's book on how basketball can save the world, and take it from someone who isolates themselves. Isolation has become one of the most widely reported experiences in modern society, especially among young adults. According to USA Surgeon General, current levels of loneliness and isolation have reached what they call an epidemic, affecting mental health, physical well-being, and ability to build meaningful relationships. Today, I'll be connecting this world problem to four principles from David Hollander's book: pointlessness, belonging through participation, open flow, and collective effort. I don't know how to say that. Sorry. Together, these principles offer a powerful framework for understanding why isolation happens and how we can begin to reduce it, not through abstract theories, but through lessons drawn from what basketball teaches us about being human. Principle 1: Pointlessness. Hollander describes pointlessness as a system where people are not restricted by rigid roles or labels. In basketball, a pointless player can move, adapt, and contribute in multiple ways instead of being boxed into one identity like center or point guard. Isolation offers grows out of opposition experience, people feeling stuck in labels, expectations, or narrow identities. For many young adults, this can look like being seen as the quiet one or the outsider, take it from me, or someone who doesn't fit a certain group. Research from the American Physiological Association shows that rigid identity expectations increase feelings of alienation and reduce social engagement. When people believe they don't fit in, they withdraw. Pointlessness offers an alternative, the freedom to step outside expected roles and exploring multiple parts of yourself instead of feeling forced into one identity. This principle encourages flexibility, curiosity, and connection. Moving on to principle 2, belonging through participation. Hollander argues that the real belonging doesn't come from simply being physically present. It comes from participation on a basketball court. You belong to the team not just because you're sitting on the bench, and because you show up, communicate, and contribute. Isolation often comes from passive environments. People may be surrounded by others in class, at work, online, but still feel completely alone because there is no active engagement. A study from Harvard's Human Flourishing Program found that active participation in groups dramatically reduces loneliness and increases overall well-being. It's not the number of people around you, it's the quality of their involvement. Moving on to principle 3, open flow. Open flow is the idea that communication and movement should stay fluid, open, and continuous. The way a basketball moves are on the court through passing, teamwork, and trust. Isolation often happens when communication becomes blocked or inconsistent. That can look like not opening up to others, miscommunication in relationships, avoiding difficult conversations, or feeling emotionally stuck. According to a 2023 Pew Research report, Gen Z individuals report to the highest levels of communication anxiety. But take it from me, especially around expressing emotion, because communication is closed instead of open. Isolation deepens. The principle of open flow teaches us that connection thrives when communication is continuous, not perfect but ongoing. Just like the ball keeps moving in basketball, people maintain connection by keeping conversation active, reach out, and stay involved. This principle suggests that reducing isolation requires more open communication, shared dialogue, and the willingness to pass ideas and emotions back and forth, not hold them in. Now moving on to principle 4, principle 4, collective effortness. I still don't know how to say that word. Effervescence, refers to the experience of shared energy, joy, and emotional connection that happens when people come together for a common purpose, like the atmosphere of a crowd during a closed basketball game. Physiologists Emily Durkheim originally described this as the electricity people feel when they are part of something bigger than themselves. Hollander applies this directly to basketball, showing how the sport generates moments of unity that transcends individuality. Today, many people lack those shared emotional experiences. Virtual communication and individualism dominate modern life, leaving fewer opportunities for collective joy. A 2021 Stanford study found that shared group excitement, whether it's sports, music, or group activity, significantly reduces feelings of isolation and boosts mental health. Collective, collective effort, you know, the word at this point, teaches us that combat isolation, people need spaces where joy is shared, not experienced alone, whether it's sports, music, volunteering, or community events. People thrive when they are lifted by the energy of others. In How Basketball Can Save the World, David Hollander uses basketball not just as a sport, but as a lens for understanding human problems and possibilities. When we apply principles of positionlessness, belonging through participation, open flow, and collective effervescence, we can see isolation in a more thoughtful and hopeful way. These principles show that isolation is not simply a personal issue, it's a structural one. It grows in environments that limit identity, restrict participation, and block communication, and lack of shared joy. But basketball offers a model for the opposition. Environments where people can explore who they are, participate meaningfully, communicate openly, and experience collective connection. By applying these principles in our own communities, schools, and relationships, we can take practical steps towards reducing isolation and building more connected lives. I wrote all this down, by the way, so I'm sorry if I stuttered. Thank you for watching.